Hello and welcome to class 782. All right, let's finish our vocabulary and go on to the focus pack. Let's finish our vocabulary. Influyente, influential, an influential person. Influye mucho en mí, esa persona. That person influences me a lot. Me influencia. That person influences me a lot. That person is a very influential person. Préstamo, loan, loan. Todas las palabras en inglés, menos uno o dos, si ves O-A, se pronuncia O-U, O. Boat, barco, bote. Escrito boat, boat. Carga, load. Descargar, unload, download. Escrito load, load. Abrigo, coat, se pronuncia coat, coat. Coat, y muchos más. Okay, but the only exception I can think of now is amplio, broad. Se escribe broad, pero no es broad. It's broad, broad. That's the only exception I know. Yeah, abroad, bueno, derivados de broad. Abroad is in el extranjero, abroad. Okay, but in any case, loan, escrito loan. Loan es un préstamo. To lend es prestar. A loan. Se pronuncia igual que yo estoy solo. I am alone. Fui a pedir el préstamo todo solito. I went to ask for the loan alone. All right. Of course, I don't recommend you say that sentence, but loan. I need a loan. Can you lend me some money? I need some money. A personal loan. You go to the bank for a personal loan, the interest rate is probably 8% for a personal loan without collateral. Sin colateral. Collateral means sin garantía. Yes, a garantía. Loan. Ahora, mortgage, la garantía es la casa misma que compras. Es hipoteca. It's a mortgage. Escrito mortgage. Se pronuncia mortgage. Como Morgan, mortgage, 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 mortgage. That's a loan in which the house itself is the guarantee or the collateral. Préstamo, loan. Hogar de ancianos, a nursing home. Yes. I think when we reach class 800, I will go into a nursing home. Yeah, that's the best place for me to teach the people English in the nursing home. Nurse, nurse means enfermera, nurse. But nursing home is hogar de cuidados. Nursing home. Yes. Richard, did you send your parents to a nursing home? Me, no, I didn't. My parents were very independent and very self-sufficient. My mother died when she was 82, and my father died when he was 84. And they were both self-sufficient until the end. Until the end. My mother died of a stroke. A stroke. Stroke es una trombosis o embolia, cualquier infarto cerebral, ictus, cualquier evento cerebral, we call it a stroke. She died of a stroke. She was feeling bad. My mother always got up early, very early, 4:30 in the morning. So she was an early riser. And my parents were planning to get up and go to Colorado, from Austin, Texas to Denver, Colorado. That's 2 long days or 3 comfortable days by car. So they were planning to drive from Austin to New Mexico, through New Mexico to Colorado, from Colorado to Denver, in Colorado, the capital. As usual, my mother got up at 4:30 in the morning, but she immediately went back to bed. And my father woke up and said, "That's strange. Why did you go back to bed?" And she says, I feel strange. And so my father was worried because this is the first time in 50, 60 years that she went back to bed. Immediately after trying to get up, and so he said, well, before we go to Colorado, let's go to the doctor. And so they went to the emergency room, what you call urgencias. We say emergency room, A-R-E-R. And she had the stroke in front of the doctor. Very fortunate. She had the stroke in front of the doctor. Boom. So immediate attention, instant attention. And she survived the stroke okay. But 2 months later, she had a second stroke. And that stroke debilitated her so much mentally and physically that she needed to be in a nursing home. But for 2 weeks later, a third stroke, and she died. So she died, and it was a question of 2 months, but it was fairly quick. The problem with a stroke is sometimes they have a stroke, and then for 10 years, the person is incapacitated or disabled. And it's a big problem for the family. Yes. But in any case, that's the story of my mother. One of them, but I have thousands of stories of my mother. All right, nursing home, hogar de ancianos. Perspectivas, prospects. The prospects for the future. The prospects. The perspective is desde esta perspectiva. This is perspective. No lo usamos como el futuro. Las perspectivas del futuro, prospects, como prospección. Prospección en busca de petróleo. Prospección en busca de dentro del futuro. The prospects. What are the prospects? What are the prospects? Route 66, la famosa Ruta 66. Everybody in Spain knows Route 66. I lived for 10 years on Route 66. From my house, in 20 minutes, I could walk to Route 66. There's nothing special about Route 66. I don't understand the obsession with Route 60. Besides, Route 66 really doesn't exist anymore. The old highway from Chicago to Los Angeles, crossing a lot of the United States, was Route 66, but it was a normal two-lane, dos carriles, uno en cada dirección, two-lane highway from Chicago to Springfield, Illinois, which is the capital of Illinois, and from Springfield to St. Louis, Missouri on the Mississippi River. From St. Louis to Springfield, Missouri, otro Springfield, Missouri, in the south of Missouri. Then from Springfield to Joplin, famoso por los tornados, Joplin, Missouri. Then from Joplin, crossing to Oklahoma to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then from Tulsa to Oklahoma City. And then from Oklahoma City to Amarillo, Texas. And then from Amarillo to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then from Albuquerque to Phoenix, Arizona. And then from Phoenix, Arizona to Los Angeles, California. That's Route 66. And really, the only reason it's famous is because historically, traditionally, it was the best route to go from Chicago to the West Coast, from the Great Lakes, Grandes Lagos, to the Pacific Ocean. Whew. All right. Atravesando la América Profunda. Middle America. Baptistas, all these Baptists and things. And I lived for 10 years on Route 66. Route. In the United States, there are two pronunciations for route, como ruta. Route and route. And we use both. But many times, for example, for Ruta 66, we always say route. We never say route. Ahora, la forma de la ruta de tu... when I was a paper boy, when I was 14, I delivered newspapers in the middle of the night to 72 houses in my neighborhood. in my neighborhood. And I had my paper route. Yo decíamos route. Mi ruta de periódicos. My paper route, not my paper route. So it's strange, pero con root no pasa nada. You say root, root. Suena igual que raíz, la raíz, the root. R-O-O-T, root. Pronunciation's the same, root. Route 66, colonizador, settler, asentador, uno que es. To settle is apaciguar las aguas, o sea, calmar las aguas, to settle. All right, if it's, hierve, you turn off the heat, the water settles. But to settle también es colonizar mediante asentamientos. That's the settle, to colonize. No colonizar mediante matanzas y guerras, invasiones. That's different, that's to conquer. To conquer. Cortés conquered Mexico. Pizarro conquered Peru. But England didn't conquer what is today the United States. They settled. It was not a conquest. It was a settlement. And they established the first settlement, the first successful settlement in the United States was in Virginia. Jamestown. El pueblo del James, Jaime. El Rey Jaime, because the King of England, this is in 1607. 1607. That was the first English settlement in the New World. It's interesting because the Spanish, starting in 1492, 115 years before. I mean, Spain had a 115-year head start. Salió con ventaja de 115 años sobre los ingleses in the New World. The English were very slow to cross the Atlantic, and they set the first settlement. And so some English people settled in Jamestown. 13 years later in Massachusetts with the Mayflower ship. And that was religious. In Massachusetts was religious. In Virginia, it was business, tobacco, and también penal, colonia penal, criminals and things. All right, to settle. And the settlers, los colonizadores, the settlers. And when they moved across the United States, there were settlers in Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota Territory, Wisconsin Territory, Missouri Territory, with settlers moving slowly across the continent, with settlers in Kansas Territory, Oklahoma Territory. These were settlers. Suelo is el floor, the floor, right? Floor. Suelo de mi vida, floor of my life, flor de mi vida, floor. Pero espera, el suelo agrícola, la capa primera, is soil. Soil escrito, como suena, 4 letters. Soil. The soil in Illinois and Iowa is black, sticky, pegajoso. Very, very rich for agriculture. The United States is lucky. The United States is very fortunate. Yes, because the United States has enormous areas of excellent soil. And they have the Missouri River, the Mississippi River, and the Ohio River. And all of them are navigable. Naturally navigable. Not artificially navigable. And so the United States the settlers moving across settled in what is today Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Minnesota. And the soil was black. Yes, like this, black soil. Very rich. And at the same time, the rivers were navigable for transportation of the agricultural products. So it was perfect. And the climate was perfect. Moderate climate, temperate climate, with winters with the snow, hasta aquí, snow up to here in the winter. And the snow slowly melted in the early spring into the ground to make it. And for 50 million years before the arrival of Europeans, Europeans in what is today the United States, for 50 million years, what snowed every year, un metro de nieve, a meter of snow that slowly melted into the ground, improving the soil for 50 million years. And then 20,000 years ago, the Indians crossed the Bering Strait into North America and continued down to Mexico, Central America, South America, etc. But the Indians who stayed in the American Midwest were nomadic, hunting buffalo and deer. They didn't plow is arar, they didn't plow the soil. So when the Europeans came, it was virgin soil, suelo virgen. After 50 million years of preparation of the rich soil and navigable rivers. It's an incredible advantage. Ningún país del mundo tiene eso. So that's one of the reasons for the strength of the United States, is God gave the United States certain beneficial things. All right. Suelo agrícola, soil. Alrededores, surroundings, the surroundings. Madrid and its surroundings, Madrid proper, the city limits of Madrid. Then the surroundings include Macalonda, Pozuelo, Las Rozas, Alcobendas, San Sebastián los Reyes, Aluche, Illescas, and Getafe, and Fuenlabrada, Leganés, Zarza Quemada. These are the surroundings. And my surroundings, en mis alrededores, lo que tengo a mi alrededor is my surroundings. Surrounding. To surround is rodear. Yeah, surround. We put my telephone here, and my telephone is surrounded by pencils. Yeah. El ataque al teléfono. It is surrounded. My telephone is surrounded. It can't escape. Yes. To surround, rodear. No me rodeo. Me han rodeado. Nos han rodeado. They have surrounded us. Yes. They have surrounded us. Yes. So we are surrounded, Marta. What are we going to do? Yeah. We need to escape some way. We are surrounded. Los restos, the remains. The remains. Yes. If you go to Rome, of course, one of the most important places to visit is the Roman Forum, el Foro Romano. I recommend you go during the day, but I also recommend you go at night. Bajo la luz. They have lights shining on the Roman Forum. The remains of the Roman Empire. But at night, looking at it under the lights, you get a stronger feeling of the fall of an empire. Oh, sí que cayó el imperio. And during the daytime, curious. Oh, no, esto sería. But at night, you become philosophical, looking at the ruins or the remains. All right, the remains. Regatear is to bargain. If you go to Morocco, if you go to Marrakesh, to Fez, to Tangier, to Tetuan, to Casablanca, anywhere, to Agadir, you go to the markets. Well, you bargain with the people. They say, these 20 pencils, 10 euros. I'll give you 2. 2 euros? Are you crazy? No. 10 euros, 9 euros. 2. No, 9, 8 euros. I'll give it to you. 8 euros and that's it. 3. Okay, you're bargaining. Bargain. Bargain escrito. To bargain. To bargain is regatear. También es negociar. To bargain. O sea, no es como el regateo malo, el verbo to bargain. Because a bargain, como sustantivo, es una ganga, un chollo, es un bargain. Estos 20 lápices por solo €1, it's a bargain. It's a bargain. Yeah, bargain. Bargain basement prices. In America we say precios del sótano de las gangas. Bargain basement prices. Because traditionally, during the moments of las rebajas, the sales, escrito sales, the sales, traditionally, in the department stores, the items on sale, los artículos en rebaja, were in el sótano de los grandes almacenes, no arriba de todo como aquí a veces. And so the bargain basement is sótano. And we say, bargain basement prices, hay precios de gangas de sótano. Bargain basement shopping or prices. But to bargain, repito, es negociar hasta lindando con regatear. It's to bargain. Yeah. Now, it's interesting. La negociación colectiva de los convenios colectivos is collective bargaining. O sea, regateo colectivo. Collective bargaining. El acuerdo de convenio is the collective bargaining agreement. The collective bargaining agreement. Y también se dice the collective bargaining negotiations. Las negociaciones del negocio. It's redundante, pero se dice collective bargaining negotiations. Bargain. All right, I don't want to bargain with you. What's the price? Give me one price. 10 euros. No, I'm not going to buy. 5 euros. You know, I remember when I was single, when I was a bachelor, for a period of about 1 year, for about a year and a half, I lived on Calle de los Dos Amigos. You don't know that calle. It's Calle de los Dos Amigos is a very, very, very small, tiny street behind the Edificio España in Plaza España, just behind. Now, I lived there for about maybe a year or a year and a half. And I got married while I was living there. I was living alone. But when I got married, of course, my wife came and we lived together. Now, when I was living by myself, there was a lady who cleaned my house. And I paid her, I don't know, 50 pesetas or 300 pesetas por mes. I don't remember. Whatever. And I remember telling her, when I said, starting next week, I don't need your services because my wife will be here. My new wife will be here. And the poor lady, she said, 200 euros. Seguiré, por favor. She needed the work. But I said, I'm sorry, because we didn't need it, you see. And I was not swimming in money, you see. So for me, I needed that savings, etc. And at that time, my wife wasn't working. My future wife wasn't working. All right, so I was teaching English. And I remember that. She wanted to bargain with me. And I said, I'm sorry. To bargain, tachar is to cross out. Bueno, tachar. Me tachan de arrogante a veces. They call me, me llaman. Ahora, tachar como... No, esto no. No, that's to cross out. Como cruzar fuera. No, esto no. To cross out. Tachar. Sin embargo, en español se usa mucho. Le tachan de whatever. Yeah. They call him. They consider him. Le consideran, etc. They consider him. Yes. Some people consider me arrogant. I don't know why. I'm not arrogant. I'm self-confident. A veces la autoconfianza, la seguridad en uno mismo, sí. Otros lo leen como arrogancia. It's not. It's simply self-confidence. The last thing in the world I am is arrogant. I mean, the last thing in the world. Self-confident, yes. Tachar, como quitar, is to cross out. To cross out. Agarrar, to grab. To grab. To grab. To grab tiene cierta violencia en el agarre. To grab. To grab. Now, to grasp, SP al final, is, to grasp. That means coger con cierta necesaria firmeza para no caerte. To grasp. Well, if you're in the bus, and some bus drivers, boom, you fall, you need to grab something to avoid falling down. But usually not. Usually you simply grasp something. But I have to go. See you tomorrow.